My name is Angelina Rodriguez, and I'm reading the Bible out loud to you in a way that's easier to understand. I have started with the book of Genesis, and I am on chapter 31. For those of you who are jumping in on chapter 31, I'm going to tell you that it's pretty crazy. So far, Jacob has been duped into marrying not one daughter, but two. And then his wives, his sister wives, made him marry their servants. So now he has four wives, and his father-in-law Laban has ripped him off and stolen all of the sheep and goats that he's been raising for the past 20 years. And he's basically fighting for the rights of his, the remainder of his life and some of the stock. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in then. For those of you watching on Snapchat, if you want the full version, you got to go find me on YouTube at jesusisadj.com. It's all one word. Jacob heard that Laban's son was saying, starting again, Jacob heard that Laban's sons were saying, Jacob has taken everything our father owned and has gained all his wealth from what belonged to our father. And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude toward him was not what it had been. Then the Lord said to Jacob, go back to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will be with you. I've already read this. We're on chapter 32. All right, so I'm reading chapter 32 in the book of Genesis. Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, this is the camp of God. So he named the place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. He instructed them, this is what you are to say to my lord Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, male and female servants. Now I am sending this message to my lord, that I may find favor in your eyes. When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, we went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and herds and camels as well. He thought, if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left will escape. Then Jacob prayed, O God, my father Abraham, O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you who said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I have only my staff when I crossed this Jordan, but now I have become two camps. Save me, I pray, from the hands of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and I will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau. 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 20 male donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of his servants, each herd by itself, and said to his servants, go ahead of me and keep some space between the herds. He instructed the one in the lead, when my brother Esau meets you and asks, who do you belong to and where are you going? And who owned all these animals in front of you? Then you are to say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us. He also instructed the second the third, and the others who followed the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him. And be sure to say, your servant Jacob is coming behind us, for he thought, I will pacify him with these gifts I am sending on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me. So Jacob's gifts went on ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in the camp. That night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives and his female servants and his 11 sons and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, Let me go, for it is daybreak. But Jacob replied, I will not let you go, unless you bless me. The man asked him, What is your name? Jacob answered, Jacob. Then the man said, Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome. Jacob said, Please tell me your name. But he replied, Why do you ask my name? Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared. The sun rose above him as he passed Periel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. That has something to do with Passover right there, because you put, a lamb shank, a bone, on the plate. We're not going to get into all that because, it's a lot. And just absorbing the word as we read it chapter by chapter can be overwhelming. And we want to make it as fun as possible. Chapter 32 is extremely important to commit to memory and really let settle in, because what just happened is Jacob has received his second name, and his second name is Israel. And as we have learned from reading the previous chapters of the book of Genesis, nations come from people. So a man is given a woman, and then the 2 of them in marriage through the blessings of Christ, or the blessings from God, are set forth to be so numerous that their people become a nation, and that nation is named after them, usually their second God-given name, not their name from birth, but their spiritual name. And Jacob was born Jacob and then renamed Israel, because he is a man who wrestles with mankind and with God and still survived. And this is the state of Israel and all of its people till this very day. So Jacob is free with his wives, all 4 of them, and all of his children and children's children, and they are now a nation that will be so numerous that they will be more than the grains of sand. I look forward to reading chapter 33 with you, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.